What's going on, guys? Great news! I can stream live from a Pixel 2 again. I just got the latest Android Cube beta update to the software, so my YouTube Live is working on this phone again now, which means you shouldn't have any more audio spikes, you should have better picture quality and all that stuff. But I thought while I'm on my way home, I'd talk about my experience in a club tonight. And I gotta say, I actually really had a good time tonight. And I think probably the biggest part of the reason why I had such a good time was because I was with, a really good buddy of mine. You guys may have seen him in my videos before. And a couple of other friends, and they had great music and they had all sorts of stuff going on. So I wasn't, I'm normally not a club guy at all, like just not a fan, period. But I really had a freaking awesome time. The music was solid, it was dancing. But what I noticed was really interesting. The club was absolutely packed with, I would say, mainly girls, almost all, very few guys, probably up to about the age of, I would say, the majority of them would have been between the ages of like 18 and 21. It was crazy that there was, like the demographic was just so fascinating to watch, and you could really see who the single ones were, who the ones were that were just out to have a good time. And I used to go to a club and I used to just look at all of these girls around me, and I would just be sort of waiting and hoping for one to make some eye contact with me, to almost give me that okay to sit down and have a chat with them or go over and approach them. But now that I'm red-pilled and more aware of body language and the difference between men and women and how we interact, I noticed a lot of just really the quick glances, and the moment that you move your face in their direction, they'll just turn away. Like they're really quick, like they're on it. And I was like, man, it's crazy, right? At 38, like I get so much attention that I never got when I was 18, 19, 20. And look, we all know that girls go for older guys, typically speaking. But I'm just noticing this phenomenon more and more. There was even an article the other day that I saw, and it said that DILFs are the new MILFs, right? It used to be that the young guys would go for like the older cougars, and now the younger girls are going for the older guys. And I really think a lot of this is because, well, the younger guys just aren't very masculine these days, especially with their fear of being labeled too masculine or having toxic masculinity. All of these male traits that women are actually attracted to. Like, God forbid women be attracted to a man, and God forbid they exhibit the traits which would cause that to happen. That's probably coercive control over women. But this place, I want to tell you about it. It's really cool, actually. I don't even know how this fits into it, but I just wanted to share this. It's up in Taylor Square in Sydney, and they've got multiple levels. So like level 1 was this dumpling place and a bar, and then level 2 was like a dance floor and a bowling alley. It's really freaking cool. And then level 3 is actually like you go up another level and like arcade games and stuff. It's freaking sick. Like, I loved it. It was really, really cool. But yeah, I was just watching guys and girls interact, and as they got more and more drunk, things would get sloppy. You've got guys and girls pashing each other, and some of them are going to go home and have sex tonight, and some of them are going to keep having sex and they're going to be happy about it. Some of them are never going to have sex again. Maybe some of those guys are going to end up like that dude the other day who stopped to help a 19-year-old girl fix her car and spent 2 hours fixing the car and got accused of rape. Maybe they'll be like that good little church girl, the one that invited the guy over after she gave him a garage remote to her house, then had consensual sex with him, later accused him of rape, and then later revoked her allegation of rape, saying, "Oh, I forgot. I consented to it. Oh, it's okay. It's not rape, guys. Sorry. That's my bad." You know, it's got me wondering which of the above scenarios, or a different scenario, are these guys going to fall into, potentially? What trap lays ahead of them? You know, it's a dangerous world out there, and, you know, I know that the majority of men are not going to get falsely accused of rape, but the majority only has to be just over 1 in 2, just over 50%. That's the legal definition of a majority. Alright, so when you look at it that way, you go, yeah, well, I might have a, you know, slightly better than 50% chance of not getting accused of rape and having my life ruined, but I have, you know, almost a 50% chance of having my life ruined, having everything that I ever worked for taken from me. And I'm just seeing this change occur and roll out. I'm seeing men going their own way in droves. I'm seeing all of the articles coming out. Where have all the good men gone? I see the women at bars dancing. Like, when I got there with my friends, there was literally 4 other people there, 4 girls, and both of them were dancing in pairs, and all 4 of them kept looking over and like checking out the guys in our group, because it's like fresh meat to a vulture that hasn't eaten for months. You know, they're on death's door, and they need sustenance, they need vitamin D, yet it's nowhere to be found. The vitamin D is lacking in their lives, and for good reason, because even as a vitamin, the D doesn't want to be in the midst of a false rape allegation. One of them had green hair. One of them was pretty chunky for her size. I would say borderline obese. And I even, as a couple more girls arrived and started dancing with not the green hair and the chubby one, but the other 2. One of the girls was dancing, and like, I kid you not, when she thought no one was looking, she flashed her tit to her friends on the fucking dance floor, and I saw it. And I just, you know, there's so many guys out there, like all the simps on white nights and the thirsty dudes, that it's like, oh, I want to see the titty again. I really want to see the titty again. But why? Why would you want to see a titty that hundreds of other people have probably seen on Snapchat, on Instagram, on, you know, Facebook live posts where they're, you know, strutting around in their bikini? We truly are in the social media generation where the shameless measures that people will go to get attention, right, to get followers, to get notoriety and fame, is unparalleled in human history. It's never happened on this scale before, and we're starting to see it. And the problem is just self-compounding and exacerbates itself. And I can't see who that was that just donated $4, but I appreciate you, man. Buy yourself a drink and ignore the courts from Blister Bill. Thank you, man. And we've got 132 of you watching right now. It's good to see so many of you. I'm guessing I caught all of my American brothers. And yeah, now I'm just having a nice cruisy drive home. But it's just, from the moment I walked into the club, my eyes are just wide open. Just wide open to this new dynamic. Wide open to all the women who you can see are, you know, they're university educated. They've been indoctrinated. They're clearly feminists, and and guys are just steering clear of them, and they are desperate. They're absolutely desperate. You know, you can see it in their eyes. They're screaming out for human connection, but they've been discarded. right? Because they're the sheet from the notepad that someone wrote bullshit all over, and then chucked that page out because it was worthless now. Now, I don't believe any human being is inherently worthless, but if you don't think that a man has value, if you don't see the importance of mutual reciprocity in human connection, whether that be in a romantic relationship or whether that be between friendships or family situations, if you don't see that value, then you don't hold a lot of value to other people. And this is something that we just simply don't see. And feminists are constantly told, particularly at university and through the media, oh, you know, you're worth it. You know, you go, girl. You know, he should be the one making the effort for you. It's like, yeah, what's the reward at the end of this for us, hey? Because, you know, you say you want a man. You say that you're coming to us and you're like, oh, you know, hey, I'm Charlize Theron. Man up and date me. But what's in it for us, guys? Seriously. Like, false rape allegation, losing our friends during the breakup, being shamed, being emotionally tortured because the person that we're dating is emotionally unstable and we're the ones that have to deal with it. I mean, like, if we're the glue that has to hold them together, we need to be pretty strong glue for that stuff to not break apart. And most of us are not super glue. Most of us are human freaking beings. And that's just real, you know? And it's sad to see the state of affairs with, you know, all of these girls just aimlessly looking around, hoping for someone to pay them attention. And, you know, there was one girl that was getting a fair bit of attention. She was wearing an orange dress. And there's actually 4 free bowling alleys, like bowling lanes in this club. It's really cool. It's like off to the side, and you can, whenever there's a free lane, you just go and put your names in and whatnot. And this particular girl, she was wearing an orange dress, and it didn't leave much to the imagination. Let me just put it like that. So when she actually went up to bowl and had to sort of lean forward to let go of the bowling ball, you could, hang on, I think I'm going to get pulled in for a random breath test here. Guys, if I do, I'll have to end the stream, but no, I didn't. That's awesome. Alright, lads. So, as I was saying, when she would actually bend over to, like, bowl the ball, you could just see full view. I mean, fortunately, she was wearing black underwear. And it wasn't like I wasn't sitting there like, oh, you know, what color underwear is she wearing? It was like, yeah, if you're facing in that direction, you're finding out she's wearing black underwear. It's not really a choice. It's just flashed in your face, like this bright orange dress with this pale white skin and this black undies. Anyway, that's beside the point. The point is that the sluttiest girls in the club were getting all the attention. And girls who might actually be decent, who may actually be, to some people, worth dating, they're missing out on all the attention. Right? And we're creatures of learned behavior. So what do we do? Like let's say, for example, you guys who are watching, let's say, for example, let's just put yourself in a female's shoes for a moment. If you were a woman, and you wanted to get attention so you could potentially meet a guy, and you don't know any other way to meet a guy other than being in the club, then you're gonna start to imitate the behavior of the girls that do get all the attention, right? It's just like us guys. If we notice particular patterns of behavior in certain men that keep attracting the type of women that we want to attract, for argument's sake, if you're trying to attract women, hypothetical here, are you not going to mimic that behavior? They always say imitation is the best form of flattery. Right? And the reason it's the best form of flattery is because, well, if you're imitating someone, it must be because they're doing something right and you want to be like them. So it's almost like a sign of respect when you imitate someone, or you try to copy them, or you try to be who they are to get the results that they're getting. Right? That's why when you model the behavior of successful people, you become successful yourself. And if you think that you model the behavior of successful people and you're not successful, then you probably haven't modeled it very well. Right? So there comes a time when these previously more conservative girls that didn't want to sacrifice, dress immodestly. And there's nothing wrong with dressing immodestly. I'm happy to admire you dressing immodestly. No problem over here. But if you choose to dress immodestly, think about how people perceive you. And other women are more likely to perceive you badly than anything else, to be honest with you. I mean, your friends, your female friends are the ones that are going to talk shit about you behind your back. We're just going to be like, man, that chick's pretty cute. I like the dress she's wearing. Or, something a little bit, perhaps even more risque. Like, I mean, the girl tonight, I was like the guy I was talking to in my group, it was like, man, the things I would do. And I was like, yeah, I know. And we talk about this. We say, oh, the things I would do to her. But that doesn't mean we're actually going to go and do those things to her. Right? And I think a lot of women, when they're listening to guys have these conversations, they really get it. Like, they get shit twisted, They don't realize that that's not actually, we don't actually do what we say when it comes to things like that. Unless, of course, we ended up hooking up with that girl in the orange dress and she wanted what we wanted, and, that's a whole different conversation. It's a whole different business transaction. But anyway, it's just, it's sad to see, because what's going to happen now is that the girls who dressed conservatively previously are going to start dressing slutty to get attention, and then they're going to become slutty, and then they get all the attention, and then the other conservative girls start to dress like them to get attention, and it's just, the cycle continues. And I don't know what else to say. And I just want to say thank you to Aces and Eights for his Canadian $20 donation. Keep fighting the good fight, Sydney. Love your content and glad I can catch you live. I'm glad you could catch me live too, man. I appreciate that. And Eric says these ladies are in panic mode because they'll be swamped with debt, can't find a man to pay debts. And I really do see this as a form of panic mode, I really do see this. It's I don't know where we're gonna go from here, guys. I seriously don't know where we're gonna go from here, because, well, I'd say it just can't keep going like this, but it actually can keep going like this, and it's gonna get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. I did notice, and I've been seeing this trend, apparently the upcoming generation, one of the most conservative generations in decades, and I really think that it's true, because these people coming up, they're starting to see, they're starting to hear people talk about these girls in the orange dresses with their only showing, oh, look at that hoe, you can see her underwear. Comments like that. And nobody really, I gotta be honest with you, especially if you're a girl who is a little bit more modest, right? Who doesn't want to show off her body just for attention. Who wants to have a connection with someone on the basis of something more than a physical appearance. And look, guys are more visual when it comes to sexuality than women are. Women are still obviously attracted to good-looking men. But when it comes to the crunch, women need to have more of an emotional connection if they haven't been riding the carousel through their 20s and killed their ability to pair bond. So if women have not just been going through the ringer, going through the sexual ringer and having sex with every Tom, Dick and Harry, and they still have that ability to pair bond, typically the pair bonding process is going to be a lot stronger if there's someone they have a personal connection with rather than just a physical attraction to. Yes, they might still want to have sex with that guy, but they also might say, well, I'm really sexually attracted to him, but I just I don't want to just sleep with someone for the sake of sleeping with them. So very, very interesting times. Let me just see. This is it's a perfect spot. So it's very, very interesting times ahead. I wonder if a reset's going to come. I wonder when the great crash is going to come. I wonder when feminism is going to get ripped out of colleges and universities, and girls will start becoming girls again, and women are going to start becoming women again. Because right now, the pool of what I would call decent women, and I do know plenty of decent women, right? I really do. And there's a couple, like I've got some subscribers that I know personally that are decent women. But that's not enough for the whole that's not enough for men to be able to actually find someone decent, fairly easily, and maybe have that family they wanted. Because at the end of the day, a lot of guys do want to have family, and a lot of guys are prepared to run the gauntlet and potentially be dragged through divorce court just for the chance of maybe having a family that's happy. We see it all the time. And as Terrence Pop said, and thank you for that quote, Long Red Road, even if you're a good woman, you're the exception and not the rule, and we cannot afford to look for you anymore. That's exactly right. And as Bill says, the way things are going, we'll all be living under Sharia law in less than 20 years. That'll sort out the thoughts. Well, see, that's the thing. Maybe that's the reset. Maybe that's the reset. It's funny how the world works in mysterious ways and things come around. But guys, at the end of the day, ultimately, you need to make sure that you look after yourselves first. You need to protect yourselves, right? You need to be the best version of yourself. Be the best man that you can be. That also makes you happy, right? You don't need to make anyone else happy. You just don't. If you're genuinely happy, if you're truly content inside, guys, I went to dinner with a buddy of mine that I haven't seen in almost 5 years on Wednesday night. And I'm going to call him Matt, because that's not his real name, it's his nickname. His real name is a WOG name. And don't get offended by the term WOG. He calls himself a WOG. We've got like WOGs, Lebos, Asians in Australia. We're not racist. We just have really easy and chill and relaxed terms for people of different sex. So I don't know, maybe he's Eastern European of some sort. Whatever the case, he pulled up and he's driving this Infiniti Q60S, and those things are about 50 grand, and this thing is brand new, shining baller car, like sexy car. Guy rocks up, gets out, big smile on his face, hair's all schmick. You can see the veins on his arms. He's been working out. He's fit. He's happy. He's healthy. And we're sitting down at the table, and I just couldn't help but just pick up this energy off him. Like he's just on top of the world. And I said to him, I go, bro, you're single, aren't you? And he goes, yeah. I said, by choice, right? And he goes, yeah, how did you know? And I said, dude, You just rocked up in a brand new $50,000 car that you paid cash for. You're fit, you're healthy, you're strong, you're smiling, you're well groomed, and you've got heaps of money. And he just started laughing. And he goes, "You're right. You're right." So, yeah, he truly is a wog, a westernized Oriental gentleman. And thank you, Bill Whitaker, for that for that very astute expansion of that term. So, yeah, it was just really cool to see him and really cool to see how well he's doing. And in fact, he actually got a job for, I'm not going to tell you what company it is, but it's a company that's global. And it's, I guess, a bit of a smaller operation, but it's more of a niche operation. I swear to God, he went in there as an area manager, very quickly became the regional manager, and then became the retail manager. But he was getting cock-blocked by the person above him on some procedures and policies. So he went direct to the CEO with all this stuff. He gave so much feedback to the CEO that they flew him overseas to the US, to Cali. Yeah, I know California, but just hear me out here. So he flew him all the way out to California. They met with him. They asked for his feedback. They asked for his thoughts. They asked, what the roadblocks are to building the business further. He said, "Look, these are the emails. This is the response I'm getting from the person above me. I can't go above them." They offered him the head of retail globally. The guy's rolling in cash. He's fit. He's happy. He's well dressed. He's got a beautiful watch. Nice car. The ultimate MGTOW. He does what makes him truly happy. He still has sex from time to time, but he's happy, and you can see it in his face. You can see it in his eyes. And that's what I want for every single one of you guys watching this video right now, just to be happy, just to be kind to yourself. Go out, like, if you are lost and you don't know what to do and you don't know where you're at, go out and start doing boxing training. It's one of the best things you can do to build your confidence. That might not be for you, right? It might not be for you, but by realizing that that's not for you, you might realize what really is for you. And Nick Heath says, "You guys don't know what's been going on in politics, and this is how we've ended up like this." Yeah, I do know what's going on, Nick, unfortunately. It's too hard to do in one video or two videos or even three videos. Like, where do you start? Seriously. And thank you to, I think it's Leobtail1 for the $5 donation. I appreciate you, man. Anyway, guys, I am going to be trying to sort out my subscribestar.com/SydneyMGTOW. If you want to donate, paypal.me/SydneyMGTOW. Thank you to the gentlemen who have donated in the super chat. I really appreciate you all. And also patreon.com/SydneyMGTOW if you want to head over there as well. But guys, more than anything else, please smash that thumbs up, leave your comments, share this video with people so that they can hear about what's going on. And look after yourself, guys. Until next time, I appreciate you. Peace.